Kalimera. Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm up and about super early this morning. Firstly, because I don't want to miss a moment of this new life in Cyprus, and secondly, because by around midday it'll be touching 31 degrees here. As well as my upcoming adventures here in Cyprus, I've set myself a personal challenge of getting into shape. After living in and working in London for the last 2 years, I succumbed to the temptations of chocolate, chips, beer, pizza, etc. Now, I'm not saying these are terrible things, of course they're not, I absolutely love them, but I've piled on the pounds as many of us do. I'm not ashamed to say I'm probably a tad over 15 stone, which is probably the heaviest I've ever been. So I'm going to take full advantage of living here and being able to eat a little bit cleaner, cutting down on the beer and the wine. I did say cutting down, not giving up, but also because I'm over on the western side of Cyprus towards the Akamus, there's mile upon mile of country road, so I'd be a fool not to take advantage of it. Now, I've just walked through the charming little village of Inia, which overlooks the stunning rugged coast of the Akamus, which is a national park and home to several hundred turtles once a year when they come into nest and lay their eggs. But yeah, I'm heading over towards the coastline at the moment to try and get my steps in this morning, so I'll take you along with me. Hey, well, I've been walking for some time now, and we're getting higher and higher up into the hills here, just with these stunning rock formations. I'm not sure if you can see them behind me, but we still have this wonderful little road here that seems to go to nowhere. There's nothing ahead of me but coastline, but it's a great little road to walk on. All the crickets are buzzing nearby, and the phenomenal wildflowers. Yeah, it's inspiration for anybody. You know, if you're like me and you've piled on the pounds, you know, we have to admit we're not getting any younger. I mean, I'm in the latter half of my 50s, so it comes a time when you've just got to, you know, get off that wagon of excess and do something about it. Now, I'm not saying go for crazy long walks or hitting the gym, you know, but we can all do something. I think just walk to the end of the road once a day, I think, would be a great start. But oh wow, I mean, the rocks up here are fabulous. When I was a young lad growing up in East London, with very little money, a club by the name of Community Links used to take underprivileged children out of the city to places like Wales and Scotland, and I remember the first time I ever saw a mountain when I was a kid, coming from East London. I was amazed and thought we're never ever going to climb that, but we started on the small rocks and worked our way up, and then eventually, you know, you get to the top. But look at this fabulous rock formation here. That's inspiring. So, like I say, it's getting a little bit warm now. I've got plenty of water in the backpack. I bought 2 bottles. Nothing worse than being caught out without enough water. So I've also got my book in the bag. I'm going to hopefully settle down somewhere, pen a couple of pages. There's a light sea breeze which is most inviting this morning, but I'm hoping to get this walk in and get back before the sun gets dead above us. So I'll carry on and see you soon. I will. I'm at a little dusty crossroads here. It's in the middle of nowhere. Plenty of lizards around, but I had to show you this little sign so I really can't get lost. There's a sign here for Paphos, Polis and Inia. They all seem to be facing the same way, but I think that's going to help me on my way back. I'm going to head, there's this winding path all the way down this hillside, but it heads across towards the sea, and if I'm not mistaken, I can see Lara Bay in the distance now. I probably won't make it to Lara. I've only just started these little walks. I come out for a walk yesterday, so today well, I think they're jackdaws, I think maybe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Flying above us here and squawking. It really is just delightful. There's nobody around, except for me and the birds. Yeah, it's wonderful if you get a chance to get out and about, out of the towns and villages of Cyprus, but do make sure you stick to the paths, because as many of us know, there are quite a few species of snake on this island, and the vast majority of them are not venomous, and most of them are more scared of us than we are of them. But there are 1 or 2 that could cause you a problem or 2, especially the blunt-nosed viper. I'm sure many of you know this already, but if you do get bitten by this snake, then you need to get to the hospital fairly soon for the anti-venom. So, but as long as you're aware of that when you come out into the wilderness, places like this, then you'll be fine. Just don't go wandering off into the scrubland. I mean, that's foolish, especially in a pair of shorts and light trainers, because I mean there are mile upon mile of these wonderful little paths anyway, so there's no need to go off track. So I'm going to carry on. I'll stop for some water soon, but for now, goodbye. Hi. Well, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere, over towards the Akamas, on this little country path, and there appears to be a little chapel at the top of these stairs. Now, heaven only knows why, because I'm probably a couple of miles from the nearest village, but I'm going to pop up and take a look. So it must have been some feat to bring all these materials out here, build this staircase, and then build a chapel at the top. But I'm certainly glad of the shade. You've got these jacaranda trees. Oh, that's the first bit of shade I've had in probably an hour. But let's take a look. As I say, I haven't seen anything for quite a while. It looks a fairly modern little chapel. Excuse my puffing and panting. Ooh. So, as I say, we're quite some distance from the village. Deadly quiet, there's nobody here. And here we are at the chapel. Beautiful geranium, so somebody tends this place. Ooh, I'm going to have to sit down for a moment. Those little stairs after that walk has wiped me out. We have here, many of you have seen these cactuses. I don't know whether they're prickly pears, but you'll notice these little prickly fruit on the end. A very good Cypriot friend of mine showed me a trick of how to remove these, because these tiny thorns, if you get them in your fingers, they're as thin as a hair and very difficult to remove. But he showed me a trick. He cut a small water bottle in half and he used the base of the water bottle to slip over these fruit. You have to wait till these fruit are, I think, orangey yellow when they're ripe. So you slip the base of the water bottle over these fruit, twist it and remove it. And then you lay the fruit down on a stone, very carefully cut off both ends, slice it and peel it. And inside it looks like a yellow kiwi fruit, but very, very sweet. And he told me, as well as the figs that grow here in Cyprus, he told me, put them in the fridge the next morning, have them for breakfast. And I did. And ice cold prickly pears and ice cold figs are the best breakfast, believe me. But yeah, I'm quite delighted with this little chapel. I'm not overly religious, but it's a nice, it's a lovely little place to stop and have a drink. And obviously somebody tends this garden, because we have mulberries, we have olive trees, some beautiful little pines and some potted cactus. So it's in the middle of nowhere, but very well looked after. So this is the great thing about getting out and about. You just never know what you're going to come across. And a short while ago, just above this ridge, I didn't catch it soon enough, there was an eagle soaring above this ridge, squawking. I just didn't catch it in time, but if I see it again, I'll share it with you. So many gems. But yeah, so for now I'm going to head back down this little staircase into the shade for a moment. And these beautiful, beautiful trees. Crunching is the little dead leaves that have been accumulated here. But yeah, a delightful little find. That never ceases to surprise me, Cyprus. So I'm going to head off along the path and find a little spot overlooking the coast. So I'll see you soon. Whew. Hey, one thing I did want to touch on briefly this morning is encouragement. And we see so much spite and humiliation on social media these days, body shaming. I think it's about time we turned it around and gave everyone who's going through any sort of trial in their life, whether it be weight loss, depression, rehab, it's about time we gave them a helping hand instead of shaming them into, sorry, I'm panting here, we're going up quite a steep incline, but shaming people into, you know, possible suicide. It's just ridiculous. It's about time we turned all this around. You know, I'm not ashamed to say I'm overweight. You know, I've struggled mentally on one few times throughout my life. I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, and I think so many others have. So instead of belittling them and berating them and, you know, laying their lives out on social media for ridicule, you know, let's just think what would happen if the shoe was on the other foot. You know, I know this sounds a bit cliche, but crikey, you know, everyone needs a helping hand at some time in their life, and I'll be the first one to encourage you. If any of you are, you know, embarking on a similar journey like myself, you know, to get a little fitter and a little slimmer, and as I said before, not giving up on those little luxuries, but just toning it down a bit, I'll encourage you every step of the way. Just message me. I'm going to carry on because it's really warming up here now, so I'm not too far from the view. So I'll see you soon. Hi everyone. Well, I think I've come as far as I dare this morning. According to my little Android app, that's close to 6,000 steps, and I've still got to go back, so hopefully I've not overdone it. But I found a beautiful little shady spot, sitting on a rock. I'm overlooking Lara Bay, so what better place to take some time out and crack on with the book. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through this novel. The lead character's a young lady. Now I get asked this question all the time: why do I write about women? Why does a guy who worked in construction his whole life write about women? Well, a lot of it stems from my mother. She was a very strong character. She had to be. She brought 3 boys up on her own in the East End of London with very little money, as I said. So she was the driving force, I think, and she read to us most nights, which has stayed with me always. You know, I can see her now. We were lying on her bed and she'd read Rupert the Bear or whatever each night, and that stays with you your whole life. So she was a huge influence, and a prolific reader as well. I think I said before, she devoured books, and then audio books later on when her eyesight faded. So yeah, she was a force, and she was the influence for my writing. So yeah, I always write about women, and this current character again is a strong character. She's only in her mid-20s, but a force to be reckoned with. So I'm going to sit here, pen a few pages, drink some water, let my heart rate subside a little before I head back. So thanks for joining me on this little walk this morning. And like I said, if any of you need encouragement, I'm your man. God bless you all.